part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane,
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action.
This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright.
You're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to the Krypton Report special Batman Day special. That's right, I said special twice. You know why? Because this is an extra awesome day. And we have a full house for a really cool conversation. If you tuned in and listened to our multiverse Justice League episode, this is kind of a companion piece to that. We're going to go through our Batman villains and pick who we think are the greatest live actions that we've gotten so far of Batman villains. And I can't do this alone. I have with me my usual, the man in red, the man with the beard, the man who makes all other men jealous, Mr. James Cole.
Yeah, thanks. How's it going, Tyler?
He never knows what to say when we give you the
I know.
You think I'd come up with something by now, but man, it's always some kind of different, interesting, funny hype stuff.
It just makes me think of like I can't remember his name. Damn it.
Michael Buffer?
No, I'm from A Knight's Tale.
Chaucer.
Yes, and he's Heath Ledger. But also, as you heard, we got from the Gravely Amusing podcast, its host, my buddy, my best friend, the guy who pretty much should just put a cot in the living room and live here, Mr. Bryan Peters.
Hello, everybody.
And then, couldn't do this without my boy Solomon. Wow, it's a long pause there, Solomon.
Hey, all right, good job, Solomon. Hey, good job, buddy.
Hey, how's it going?
I try to make it mysterious. You know, mysterious.
And then we brought in some new blood to the Krypton Report. I'd like to introduce all the way out in pretty much Woodsboro, California, Dre. Great to be here, man.
The other half of DP and the Finch.
Glad you're here. And then, last but not least, we welcome the man whose beard might start to rival James, a young Kris Kringle from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, Trey.
Nice comparison there. I haven't heard that one. Take me back to high school.
Hey, I love that show.
I got that a lot as a kid.
But it was a good show. But, you know, we're coming up.
Well, see, I'm kind of a special, like a 2-in-1 package. I was born on Easter Day, so I'm the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, so...
He is the ultimate gift bringer. That's going to be his new intro. The ultimate gift bringer.
There we go.
You're born on Easter?
Mm-hmm. The floating holiday.
It mixed the Christmas, mixed with Easter, a bunny rabbit who delivers present for the children.
I put eggs in the gift boxes, so...
Yeah. When people open Christmas presents for him, they have eggs.
Like, wait a minute.
All right, here we go. We're going to start off. These are not Batman villains, but I didn't want to go down a whole thing of Batman characters because we kind of covered that on our last episode, but these were not included. But we're going to talk about, first and foremost, the most important member of the Batman family. We're going to start with who is your favorite Alfred. We're going to go in this order. We're going to go James, Dre, Trey, Bryan, Solomon, then me. Okay? So, Mr. Cole, start us out. Alfred.
Michael Goff in live action.
Solid answer. I don't think we can really argue with that.
4 movies. He's got some great sarcastic comments to all of his Bruce Wayne characters. And he's very guiding.
All right, Dre. No, you're fine. You're good. Ooh. Nice. I'm sure that won't be the only time that he's mentioned. Trey, you're Alfred.
For me, it's going to be Michael Caine. I mean, I really don't feel like I need to justify my answer there, but
I don't. If as long as no one says Ian Abercrombie, then there is no justification needed.
okay.
Bryan.
See, I thought that Finch would have went with Ian Abercrombie. Abercrombie Finch. Hey.
All right, Bryan, what you got?
Michael Goff. I had to he's that father figure. He's that older gentleman. He's got the sarcasm. He's got the wit. The only reason I almost didn't choose him is because in Batman '89 he lets Vicky Vale in the Batcave. Yeah, Alfred would have never done that.
And he got called out for it in Batman Returns. He's like,
did.
Somebody let Vicky Vale in the Batcave.
But that's my choice, and I'm sticking to it.
All right, Solomon.
I picked Jeremy Irons.
Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
Excellent choice, sir.
Answer.
I and Jania both picked Jeremy Irons. When they announced Jeremy Irons, I was like, okay. I didn't see it, but seeing the movies, I was like, yeah, I really like him as Alfred, but I also think he works great as that kind of newer idea of him being more like MI6, a little bit more Batman's sidekick, or not sidekick, but partner, more than just being just a butler. But like I said, there is no wrong answer.
I wanted to say Andy Serkis, but I was just like, it's a little early, so we'll hold on.
Yeah, that's really how I feel about Andy Serkis. It's just too.
Yeah, Jeremy Irons is the best one, but I knew that was going to come up plenty, and Michael Goff needs some love.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Good.
I can't even talk. Babbling Bryan over here. Jeremy Irons is Alfred I wanted more of. I think if we got more Jeremy Irons, he probably would have been the definitive Alfred.
Well, if we would have gotten the Batman movie, the Ben Affleck Batman movie, we would have gotten so much more of him.
I will say that Jeremy Irons, out of all the people that cameoed in The Flash, he was the most solid. He still felt like the same character.
Yep. No inconsistency to see there. Absolutely.
Okay.
When I die and go to heaven, some people ask God, hey God, why did this happen in my life or whatever? Or they'll God, or they'll ask these insane questions. I'm going to ask, can I see what that Batman movie would have been? And can I see Batgirl too?
I'll be like, you're like, and Tyler's here somewhere, isn't he? Yeah, he's over there.
Let's be real. I'm going to die before you.
Okay. After that morbid thing, let's go on to probably if there is a companion, another one. Let's talk about Jim Gordon.
Ooh.
Mr. James Cole. Who is your favorite Jim Gordon?
My favorite Jim Gordon, I'm gonna go with Gary Oldman.
Cool. Cool. Solid. Alora, come down.
Disagreement there.
She's mad at you. You picked the wrong one, dude.
She's not cool with that.
She is.
She
not
wanted
cool
you to
with
say
my
Batman
pick.
66.
She's like Pat Hinkle, man. Pat Hinkle. All right, Dre, what you got? I'll hold my explanation as we go. All right, Trey.
I'm going to have to say Gary Oldman as well. I just like the consistency of his character throughout the Dark Knight trilogy. So,
Bryan.
I am going to go with Gary Oldman. I came very close to Jeffrey Wright. Very close. But Oldman was just a little bit older.
no pun intended, right?
What's that?
No pun intended, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely pun intended. But and he had a little bit more of a connection with. You got a little bit more of that backstory of a young Bruce Wayne and that connection, and like, yeah, it's just slightly better. But I think Jeffrey Wright is really going to knock it out of the park the more he does the job.
All right, Solomon.
I'm gonna have to go with dun dun dun. Okay, the Batman.
So Solomon went with Jeffrey Wright. Jania went with Gary Oldman. And I went with, this was tough, but I did go with Jeffrey Wright. Because there is an element about him that I feel more with the weight of knowing that people are dirty in his department. And then finding out that people are dirty, like when he finds out Coulson's dirty. And then the way he's like leaning on Batman, that I just really liked. You see it with Oldman. I think Oldman's great, but there's something in the right performance that I'm really digging. And I like the way he ends a lot of sentences with "man." We really gotta go, man.
See, why I chose Oldman is part of that conversation that he has with Aaron Eckhart's Harvey Dent and Dark Knight, where like Harvey Dent's basically like, we know you work with Batman, we know you're on his side, we know you're hiding stuff, and Gary Oldman's just like, I don't know what you're talking about.
If you have a problem,
like he's so
equipment,
It's the facial expression.
witty about
man.
it,
It's
and
perfect.
like, yeah, it's just
speak to maintenance about faulty equipment. All right.
I love it.
So now we're just going to jump to the top of the list.
Okay,
And
you're
just
gonna go right for the jugular.
unless
unintended.
you guys want to work up. Okay. All right.
I think Joker's too big of a villain to go right to it.
Hey, you know what?
I mean, it's your dang podcast.
All right. So this one was a tricky one, but the Wayne murderers.
That was a tricky one for me.
And basically what that means is like, because it's tricky, but like, what do you think is the best scene that depicts the Wayne murders?
Oh, you mean the best scene?
Yeah, like the best murderers. Like it goes all in hand. The scene who killed the Waynes. Like,
I mean,
Siri's the best Wayne killer. See, I didn't think of. Shut up, woman. I didn't think of it as a scene. I can give you that answer right off the bat, but I thought of it more as like seeing that actual character.
well, the problem with that is in some it's directly Joe Chill. Some you never find out who it is,
Right.
and then we had Jack Napier. So it's kind of like, what do you like? Which depiction?
Yeah, I can give you that answer. No problem.
So we're gonna start with Mr. Cole. Best. I hate saying favorite, but what do you think is the best depicted Wayne murder scene?
I mean, the best one, my favorite one is the Batman versus Superman, where it's very much like Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns depiction.
Okay, Dre.
The hell you just say?
All right,
The hell you just say?
calm down, Brian.
Who is this guy?
You get to attack in a
I've
minute.
been friends with this guy for 20-some years. He says he loves Napier being the killer?
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
I know. We're gonna go over here.
So this one's gonna be a little bit hard for me because I haven't seen too many scenes, or at least that scene. But I'm gonna go with the classic here, Jack Nicholson.
He's going Batman '89 too.
Well, listen, it's the quote. It's the quote. Like that quote. I mean, and at the end of the film, when Batman delivers that quote back to him, that's awesome, man. Tim Burton was on that one, right?
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought. I mean, he just perfect.
You didn't know who Tim Burton is?
Yes, I know who Tim Burton is. Night Before Christmas.
Hey, you're born and you know who Tim Burton is. You do know that Tim Burton didn't direct Nightmare Before Christmas, right?
No?
Oh man,
I'm disappointed in myself. I'm sorry.
that's okay. He gets all the
Nope.
credit, but
He does, yeah. It's his creation, his characters.
Isn't his name on the
designs.
title though?
it's because he produced
That-
it.
okay.
He wrote it.
Okay.
He like
Did the
shepherded
character
it, but it
designs
was
and
Henry
everything.
Selznick
Yeah.
who
So basically, his name's all over it. He just didn't direct it. I got you.
he gets all the credit and didn't
Yeah.
direct it.
That's the worst choice in that whole movie. That the Joker killed his...
You do. Neither did I.
All right, Bri.
How could you pick...
It's okay, man. Hey, there is no wrong answers. We are among friends. It's all about opinions, and this is all about love, man. Okay, so It's okay.
Babylon.
Yeah, for me, the best Wayne murder depicted is in Batman vs Superman, and the selling scene is when the pearls fall in the barrel of the gun, and as it goes off, the pearls break.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love just them like kind of laying in the gutter, like forgotten. I thought that was Snyder knew what he was doing. Like it's just we've seen it like a bazillion times, but Snyder just took it to another level.
All right, Solomon, what you got for the Wayne murders?
BBS.
BVS. Jania has BVS. Mine, I chose this one for the emotional impact that it left me with, is Gotham. It's Gotham. Because the way that David Mazouz screams.
That one is so good.
When the parents are murdered.
It's so good.
That you feel, it reminds me exactly of the Greg Capullo page in him and Scott Snyder's run where they jump back and you see the night the Waynes are killed. And it's just Bruce Wayne crying, saying help. It is so emotional, and to have the kids sitting there screaming, because every other version we see, there's either no audio, like in BVS, or he's quiet, like in 89 and Batman Begins. But that scream, it stays with
to
me.
let it out and
see. That's the correct answer. That's probably the correct answer.
Yeah, that scene actually, something I read recently is something that isn't ever considered is Bruce Wayne sat there with his dead parents for in what was recently revealed like 90 minutes in that alley alone with his dead parents before anybody showed up to help.
All right, moving on. Lesser known, but does make a few appearances, Firefly. We're going to start with Mr. Cole.
I preferred the actress from Gotham.
Okay. All right. Trey. Awesome. Trey.
I'm going to butcher her last name, but I'm in agreement with James. Michelle... I'm not going to try to pronounce
From Gotham.
Yeah, from Gotham. I think a lot of people just like to spin on the character because typically, I mean, he's a male character, and so nice spin.
Okay, I'm going to say this. Jania didn't have one. Brian, go ahead.
Brendan Fraser.
Me, Solomon, and Brian.
We
We all picked Brendan Fraser. I knew it. I knew he was going to. I knew it.
Did he?
If we would have gotten it.
I was going to say we never got it, did we?
Nope. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I seen him behind the scenes. It's out there somewhere.
Well, I would have said the same thing if that was the case. Come on now.
No way.
This is
like, but in essence of fairness, because I respect Ray, you respect me for saying Jack Napier. Give me a break. Gotham. I really liked the female twist on that. I liked her origin. It was really, really great. But I can't deny that Brendan Fraser would have knocked it out of the park completely. Like he would have got the stupid humor in it. It would have been like Batgirl Year One, like right off the page. It would have been awesome.
Yeah, but me and Solomon are still sticking with Brendan Fraser because it's my podcast and I can if I want to.
Fair enough.
See, that is the rules of being the host.
No, so, but I mean, the girl on Gotham was awesome. But I just, it's one of those things like Brendan Fraser. Has there ever been a better robot man? Okay.
Has there been a better George of the Jungle?
I mean, no. That guy who did it in the sequel sucked.
Right?
All right.
I forgot there was a sequel.
It was that bad.
Yeah,
it was that bad. You forgot about
I've
it.
never seen it again.
All right. We're going to take it to Mad Hatter. Mr. Cole.
I'm going to have to go with Benedict Samuel from Gotham.
All right. Trey.
This one's gonna be a little bit hot take because I know the show was really bad. But I'm gonna say Amate Marmorston. I just like his look and the style and like just how they brought the character to life. Like
from where? Just say
Batwoman. Sorry, but yeah, I mean, I just like the character style and stuff like that, the color of them, and it just feel like it popped like from the comics almost. So I liked it.
And no, I'm not going to cheat on this one. I could cheat on this one, but I'm not going to, I promise. Okay? Because I do have, on my phone, I do have the behind-the-scenes test photo
Oh, dear Lord.
of Martin Short as the Mad Hatter when they were looking at doing the 5th Batman film.
You know, I'd be okay if you said that as your answer.
So I'm saying I'm not going to cheat. I have a legit answer. But I'm just letting you know that would have been awesome. Brian, go.
Martin Short.
All right, Brian.
Why do you save it from Brian? Come on now.
I've seen that image and it's pretty awesome.
Okay.
No, my real answer. I have a real answer. But Martin Short blew out of the water. I can't remember his name, but the Batman 66 Mad Hatter.
Solomon, who did you have for Mad Hatter?
Mad Hatter I had is Gotham.
All right. Jania did not have, for the next few, she didn't have some, so I'll bring her back when it comes time. I, too, chose Batman 66.
You went with Batman 66.
I did.
So what was it for you? Because
to me, it was just more of the looniness of the character.
Yeah.
I found the Gotham one a little too serious, and I didn't like the Alice relationship.
Yeah, no.
And the Batwoman one was cool, but I did like the Batman 66.
I chose 66 because in his debut episode, like his whole purpose, what he's doing is he's trying to collect all the 12 jurors that convicted him. Like he had a little bit, he had more sinister motives whenever he appeared, and like even though it was a campy show, like his motives were always more serious. Like
for the show, like,
yeah,
compared to other villains.
Yeah. So,
right.
And he was a redhead.
So the next one I have written down is Professor Pig, and I'm pretty sure there was more than one Professor Pig. But then I started second guessing myself.
See, that's why this was hard for me because I couldn't remember another Professor Pig.
I thought it was mentioned on like Batwoman, but I could have been wrong. So does everyone just have Gotham for Professor Pig?
Yes, I only found one. It was
I think that was
Cerveris.
Yep.
Yeah, that was my blunder. See, okay, I thought so. I thought there was another one, like, and I started second. I'm gonna say that there are some villains that I'm gonna eat some crow on this episode, and I'll talk about it more. But Batwoman did have a few villains that popped, and they'll come up here. But yeah, Professor Pig, okay, because like I said, now we have the next one we have is the Joker's daughter. You guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh. Maybe it's just this. Okay, so Joker's daughter, we'll start with James Cole.
The only one that I can really remember was, and it's because I probably saw her most recently in Gotham Knights with Olivia Rose Keegan.
Okay. Dre? Yeah, we'll accept the name, the show, like any of that works. All right, Trey.
Olivia Rose Keegan, Gotham Knights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brian.
Joker's daughter, eh?
Yeah.
I don't care because I don't care.
Wow.
Like Joker's daughter sucks.
Okay.
You gotta give her this one
But
answer.
if I have to give an answer, whatever you choose.
So Solomon didn't have one for this,
Yeah, I did.
but then he wrote one. What do you got?
I said Gotham Knights.
Yep. So
No, I have to be more respectful. I'm sorry. I guess the one on Gotham Knights.
well, here's my. I think first of all, the character itself is a weird character,
Sure is.
and I'm eating crow on this because I finished Gotham Knights because I'm a completionist when it comes to my DC shows. Even though I couldn't get past the pilot for Naomi, and I still have one season to go on Legends. And I will say this is me eating the crow. I think, though I have issues with each of the Gotham Knights themselves, the world that it builds, the way that it used the court, was much better than I thought it was going to be. And it was actually a better show than Batwoman. And I gave that show so much crap when I saw the first trailer and everything. So I'm eating the crow for that. And I have a whole breakdown of what I think could have really helped with that show. But yeah, so I'm going with Joker's daughter from Gotham Knights, because they actually did make sense of why her name is in the comics Duella Dent. So they actually do a really good.
I was gonna say, when I was looking up the character, I was getting like a Duella Dent nickname. I was like, holy moly, that's a mouthful.
It's a mess.
She's a mess, like a character that doesn't make sense, and they actually tried to pull it in and make sense with it.
I think she comes to the comics after Crisis, or maybe a little bit before. That's a mess.
Well, sometimes those comic origins are so convoluted that it takes a show or something that actually kind of breaks it down to something more that makes sense.
Her first appearance was Batman Family number 6, August of 1976, created by Bob Rozekis, I think. Yeah.
It's an interesting. Okay, ready? Solomon Grundy. Let's start with Nicole.
I will pick Drew Powell from Gotham.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, it's really the only he is, and it's really the only portrayal that we had of him, of Solomon Grundy doing anything. I mean, there was Cyrus Gold.
Dre's about to drop it on us because Dre's about to drop Arrow. It the way Solomon dropped it. All right, Dre, you go for it because I bet you're about to drop it the way Solomon dropped it on me. Boom. I knew it. I knew he was going to drop it like that.
Come on, man.
All right, Trey.
I said Graham Shields from Arrow. I mean, when I think of Solomon Grundy, I think of, big, buff, menacing dude. He looks the part, so.
Bryan?
Stargirl.
Solomon.
Pick Stargirl.
Stargirl.
Tyler. Stargirl. Because me and Solomon were filling out his list, and he goes, I said Solomon Grundy. He goes,
you guys got a cheat sheet, huh?
He goes, Stargirl. I go, oh shit, I forgot about that one. So I scratched mine off and wrote Stargirl. I was like, my son dropped it on me.
Oh, holy crap! Yeah, like I didn't even consider that. It is a live action version in a sort of way.
Kinda.
But
he just looks so great.
That's that loophole,
and they got the character down really well.
Yeah,
like they really did. Especially in season 2. Absolutely.
All right. So, Killer Croc. We're going to start with James. He comes once a year. Santa Claus Cole. Go.
Adwele from Suicide Squad. I mean, he was very much a carnivore, ate meat. They talked about him being cannibalistic. They at least portrayed him having some skills, underwater abilities.
All right. Dre. I think it's Ottawa. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to butcher his name, but he's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, Trey.
I was going to go with that answer, but then I changed it up to Heidi Ben from Arrow. I have never personally seen the show, but if I was to come across that look compared to Ottawale's Killer Croc, I feel like Heidi Ben's is more terrifying in my opinion. So,
all right, Bryan.
I absolutely hated Killer Croc and Suicide Squad. I hated everything about it.
Me too.
And I want to say, Solomon loves Killer Croc in general. That's one of his favorite.
And they butchered it for him in Suicide Squad.
In 2020, we'd throw theme parties just to entertain ourselves. And we did Batman night one night. I dressed as Batman. Jania was Catwoman. Sailor was Harley. He went as Killer Croc. Mm-hmm. And then we got in the car and went to McDonald's through the drive-thru.
Nice.
But he was not happy with Suicide Squad. I did pick Suicide Squad just because I think it was the best of what we got. Jania picked Suicide Squad. And Solomon
I only said who I hated. I didn't say who I liked.
Oh, Bryan, who do you like? Sorry.
Oh, geez, Bryan.
My bad, Bryan. I'm sorry. It's hard getting the host.
He's offended now.
No, I had to look up. Other Killer Crocs because I hated the Suicide Squad one so much. But the look of the Batwoman Killer Croc, he looked pretty good. Like he looked somewhat comic accurate.
I did like that look.
So I went with that guy.
Solomon?
You said the Batwoman?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I went with Batwoman too, cause
Talk louder, buddy. Okay.
it's kind of like the Suicide Squad one, like it's like the same size but a little bit bigger, but also the green skin, because I did not like him having the white skin.
Is that the one you got from Batwoman?
That's Batwoman.
That's the one I got from Arrow.
It must be the Arrowverse.
Okay.
So-
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
So
I don't know. I looked it up and I thought
It looks awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty great.
All right. Moving on. One of my all-time favorite Batman villains, in a way, or idea concepts, is the Court of Owls. So we're gonna go. James Cole, what do you think is the best Court of Owls?
Okay. Well, I actually just went with talent. I kind of didn't separate them. I mean,
Same thing.
Yeah, I mean, the best talent I saw was on Gotham Knights.
Yep.
Just the action portrayed from that version. I didn't get to finish the season yet, so I don't know how well the court was portrayed. So
That's
the only
good.
other court is really Gotham.
That's because James is a big Turner Hayes fan now. He's championing for Turner to come back because James loves Turner.
Yeah,
Going
he's gonna
forward.
have to have his own moniker.
He needs his own
Like
spin-off
how-
series. Turner Hayes, Man of Crime. The Dark Knight 2. Turner Hayes for James. All right, Dre, what you got for the Court of Owls? Trey.
You're probably gonna be disappointed in my answer, Tyler. I said Brandon Allen Smith for Talon from Gotham.
Okay. I'm not going to be disappointed. I actually got to interview the lady who was the head of the Court of Owls when we used to do a Batman podcast that we reviewed Gotham. We got to interview her. So that was cool. All right, Brian.
I chose Gotham only because that's the only one I've seen.
Pathetic.
Um,
I expect more from you. I hold you to such a high standard. The way you hold the rest of us to a high
sure,
standard.
yeah.
See,
Yeah.
my answer was acceptable. Yours not so
well,
much.
Well, here's the thing. Gotham Knights' trailer was really bad.
I know.
And
I'm eating my crow.
really bad.
Dude, I'm eating my crow. I know.
Isn't Batman like in a suit on the street with just a bat cowl on and he's dead?
Yeah. Look, I had to wait till the show was canceled on HBO so that they wouldn't be affected by my ratings of watching it.
So in saying that, Gotham wasn't that bad.
Their talent looked like Kato with an owl mask.
You're not wrong, but that's what I chose, and I will change it in next year.
Okay. All right, Soul Man, what you got?
I picked Gotham Knights.
I picked Gotham Knights, and Jania did too. I really love the way they did the court. I mean,
Was that the only thing really worth the show, in your opinion?
Like they said, the
Yeah,
show
so it seems like
Yeah.
the shows, like the adult characters,
Mhm.
the world building, the little things here and there if you're paying attention. The fact that the bass player from my all-time favorite movie appears in Gotham Knights as what do you call it? Stephanie Brown's dad was a big surprise. So that actually knocked it up a couple points for me.
I gotcha.
I was like,
they have the puzzler in there.
yeah.
That's funny.
You could see the moving pieces, and I think, like I said this before, part of my issue with the series was it was from the people who did Batwoman, and I thought Batwoman it just kept going downhill. So I was like, ugh. But all right, we're gonna do the doll maker, James Flippin' Cole.
Doll maker Michael Eklund. I believe he was the doll maker in Arrow.
Okay,
Yes, I believe he was very creepy. It was when Arrow was really dark.
Jania did not answer this one because she looked at me and said, they have not done a version of the doll maker that fits the comics that creep me out so much.
This is true.
I said, okay, babe.
He was sufficiently scary and a horrible, terrible person in Arrow.
All right, Dre, bring it to us. Yeah. Trey.
Make it 3 in a row.
Bryan.
I went with Gotham, and because that was the only one that was always stuck in my mind. I couldn't remember the one from Arrow.
Okay. Solomon, did you answer this one?
Yes, I did, and I went with Arrow.
And I went with Arrow as well. He was like, he filled them full of that, like,
He seemed
That
menacing.
silicone down their throat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
it
probably
was pretty
the correct answer.
scary.
Bryan, there is no wrong answer.
And Michael Eklund, I just watched him in the episode of Smallville where Clark fights Titan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the list, Talia al Ghul. I'm going to start with James because always the women start with James.
You gotta do.
Lexa from Arrow.
Oh, Alexa Dogel? Is it Dogel?
I don't
No.
even. I
You know-
couldn't remember her last
All
name.
I know-
It started with a D.
I had it Doig.
Okay.
That's what I thought too.
Doig.
All I know is she's married to Michael Shanks, a.k.a. Smallville's Hawkman. So I found that out in a podcast interview she gave. I was like,
Oh,
that's
interesting. I
dope.
didn't know that.
Yeah, things you learn from listening to people talk.
Yeah.
That's a good one. All right, Dre. Okay, Trey.
Don't hate me, Bryan.
I swear to God, if you say the Nolan trilogy, I'm gonna like just run you over with a car.
No, I just want to get a rise out of you. Yeah, it's Alexa for me.
That's your choice.
Yeah, I'm not going with the Dark Knight Rises. No, absolutely not. It's Lexa from Arrow.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah. What the heck? Yep. I chose the Arrowverse one. Whatever her name was, I can't remember.
Lexa.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the one I chose. I mean, she actually somewhat looked like Talia. I mean, that's pretty important. She played it well.
Well, me, Solomon, and Jania all chose The Dark Knight Rises. And the reason why is because I didn't see it coming. Like, it was all...
Oh, really?
It was all there, but I really didn't see it coming because I was like, no, there's no way. That'd be stupid.
I
And then
have
they
to-
pulled it.
Because a 5-year-old was like, "Hey, you know what? Have her be evil."
You have to admit, though, it was like, it was just her character's only in for one film, and it's like, oh, this is just a side character that's not important. Then boom, it's like, wait a minute.
There was so much. I told Bryan a long time ago that I really wish they would have played with us in the marketing and not let us know that Gal Gadot was Wonder Woman and made us believe that she was Talia.
Yep, absolutely.
Because because there's one part in Batman vs Superman where she goes to get off the plane and the stewardess says misprint. You cut that out.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time you could tease us that it's Talia al Ghul.
Yep.
Because the way she talks with him about the sword and everything.
Yep.
And then you have no fripping clue. There's nothing in the marketing. Then all of a sudden Wonder Woman drops in. Tell me you would have not
like,
lost
"Oh
your
my
shit."
God,
Brian's on board. I'm on board.
You would have been.
You
like,
said you're on board. I'm on board.
Yeah. So when Tyler and I first talked about that, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Like,
one of the
it
biggest
was-
downfalls for Batman versus Superman was that extended marketing, how much money they put into marketing.
well, the fact that they just kept every time something happened, someone was cast, every piece of news, like, hey, just know this, know this, know this. All right.
Superman's gonna die in this. Enjoy.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert. Jeesh.
right.
Okay, here we go. This is a good one. I want to hear everyone's thoughts. There is a wrong answer.
Oh no.
No, I'm just playing.
When you're the host, you can say that.
We're going to go with,
Or if you're Brian Peters, you can say
I
that.
will accept other answers to this if you can make me believe why.
Yes.
Two-Face. We're going to start with James Cole.
I went with Aaron Eckhart, and
Solid.
and I don't even feel he is like the greatest portrayal of Two-Face, as comic accurate. as Two-Face can be.
This is why I love James, because his explanations. James is like James is the greatest critic I've ever listened to, because the reasons for his answers are always spot on.
Yeah. All right, Dre.
I appreciate that.
You should, because it came from me, and I'm able.
I will say this before we recorded, because my wife missed the end of the last episode. I went back and she watched his scene, his Two-Face scene, because she's a big Supernatural fan, so she's been championing for him.
Yeah, I wish
All
I
right.
had seen the rest of it so I could at least have that as a reference, because nobody else got to be actually Two-Face and stand in there, and Tommy Lee Jones was just playing the Joker.
Trey, what you got? I'll let you in.
Okay, so I really need to watch the shows, but I said Aaron Eckhart, and I was really torn, and I know James isn't going to like this, but honestly, like looking back on it, Tommy Lee Jones' character wasn't terrible. I mean, yeah, it's not what everyone expects, but I think it's just because how that movie was written. I mean, let's face it, I like Jim Carrey. I don't think he's a good Riddler.
We'll talk about that when we get there.
But
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with Aaron, though.
My thing is, there's one scene in Batman Forever with Tommy Lee's Two-Face is why I feel like they didn't quite understand the character.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they're in Wayne Manor,
Mm-hmm.
and like he flips the coin,
Yeah.
and then he just keeps flipping it. Basically, you don't know why, but basically the scene plays out like he's flipping it till he gets the answer he wants, which isn't the case.
Yeah, no,
So, Bryan.
I chose Aaron Eckhart. I almost wanted to say Billy D. Williams, but he never was Two-Face.
But I would accept, if you said Billy D. Williams and you want to tell me why, I would accept it. The only one that would be the hard sell is Nicholas DiSargio or whatever from Gotham, because he's in one episode in season 1. But if you would have tried to sell me on Billy D., I'd hear your argument. I'd appreciate it.
I chose Aaron because we got to see the pretty boy overconfidence of Harvey.
You get to see the whole downfall. It was nice.
Yeah, we got to see the whole story. All the other Harveys, you didn't get the whole story. So we got to see the downfall. We got to see him flip.
The breaking point.
and see that CGI, like,
It holds up because
like,
it's
I
mixed.
remember sitting in the theater at like midnight, all by myself in Uniontown, Pennsylvania. I went right after work, ready to go, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like when he poured that gasoline, I was like, "Oh man, they're really going to do Two-Face in this." Like I wanted that to be the third movie, but when he's laying in that hospital and he finally turns his head, I was like, "Wow, he looks pretty good." They did pretty well. I mean, I like makeup. I'm all about makeup.
But they blend. That's the thing.
But
It's makeup
It looked really good.
with CG in parts.
Yeah,
And that's why it works, is because
it looks so
it's
good.
blended together.
I liked the take, like where he got his name in Nolan's trilogy, because when he's laying in the hospital bed, he's full of anger, rage. Yep, Jim's in there. It's like,
What was
you
that
guys...
name they had for me in IA?
Yep. And then going back to the CGI though, when he's in the bar taking that drink of tequila, just out the side of his mouth, it's like
That's the way it needs to be.
That would hurt so bad.
Yeah, it like
And-
something like, ugh.
Yeah. It's one of the many reasons that The Dark Knight is such a good film overall.
You ready, Solomon? Ready to drop us
Sure as
yours?
heck is.
Mine is The Dark Knight.
Excellent choice.
Mine is The Dark Knight, and Jania's is Misha Collins. So, and like I said, I can't argue with it because you do get a good story and everything. Two-Face is my favorite Batman villain, and I liked Aaron Eckhart, but I still feel that we haven't got
The
that
perfect
Two-Face
portrayal.
where we're like,
Not yet.
that's it.
Mhm.
Like, like that. As we get up here, as we get to like these definitive characters that we feel, as we get to the ones that have multiple choices.
Sure.
We still haven't got that Two-Face yet. I, like Bryan, had hoped that Two-Face was going to be the big villain for the second one. They were setting him, or for the third one, they were setting him up. I hope that Matt Reeves puts Harvey Dent in The Batman 2, and that we get a whole movie of just Harvey.
Mhm.
And then in the Batman 3, he becomes Two-Face.
Yeah.
Because
We need to know who Harvey is
Yeah.
more so we can care about him. Because one thing that I listened to Scott Snyder talk about Two-Face, and I believe this too, is the character is split, that sometimes Two-Face does good things.
Mhm.
Because that's part of the other side of him. Too often they lean into the bad side. But it's whatever the coin says. And if the coin says, like, I think there's an awesome story if you had Two-Face hunting, say, the Joker or the Penguin, because that's what the coin dictated. So that side of him led.
yes, that is a side I really miss, because when Two-Face first started out, and he would flip the coin, if it was on the nice head, he could commit a crime earlier in the day and like rob a bank, but then he flipped a coin later what to do with the money, and then like sometimes he would like donate it to charity, and so they oh my god, what are we gonna do with this guy?
I like the idea that Two-Face is not a good guy, but he's not a bad guy. The criminals don't like him, and the good guys don't like him. He's very much alone with himself.
But what we need the most in live action is we need that whole movie with Harvey, just being Harvey, because who is Batman most afraid of? It's not the Joker. It's not Ra's al Ghul.
It's not my mom.
It's not your mom. It's not my mom. It's not James Cole's appendage. It's he's afraid of Harvey, because every time he looks at Harvey and deals with Two-Face, he feels he failed. Like it's Jason Todd. It's Jason Todd. All the times he failed, Gotham, the times not killing Joker, whatever. It's all rolled into one when he looks at Harvey.
I was just going back to the film.
He was my friend, and this happened to him.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I can do.
Yeah.
And that's what we need. We need that whole story of Harvey, and then to turn to Two-Face. Like we need it for character building of Bruce, but we also need it for the definitive.
Well, I mean, like you're saying, for like the Dark Knight, I mean, I thought it was just nice how he was going to be Gotham's White Knight. He was built up and he's doing good, and then that scene happens, and Batman's in there. He's just like, I failed you. Like I have personally failed you. I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's Batman can only do so much. So, but like you said, it's a Jason Todd moment. It's like hey, I was supposed to protect you. You were going to be the new savior of Gotham, and I failed you.
Yep.
So
for real,
last year, Judy and I recorded 2 episodes on Two-Face. February 2nd, 2022 was our first part 1 of Two-Face. Then February 22nd, 2022 was our second Two-Face episode.
that was a fun day.
So we had to capitalize. All right, Black Mask. We'll start with James.
I mean, Ewan McGregor. Come on.
Dre? Trey?
Might be a little biased, but I mean, it's Ewan McGregor from Birds of Prey. I mean, come on now.
Ryan?
It's not Ewan McGregor.
Yeah, all right, leave. You can leave.
I hate that movie.
When's the last time you watched it?
I bet it's
It's
the guy
2020.
who portrayed
Yeah.
him in
The
Batwoman.
movie gave me COVID.
See,
It's over.
Listen,
The
the,
thing-
the movie can be bad. The movie can be bad, but there can be memorable characters.
the
and
thing
shows
about that
and
movie,
movies.
when Jeannie and I reviewed it and everything, that's Margot Robbie's best performance as Harley Quinn. Like, she puts her all into the character and does a great job in it.
Without a
and
doubt.
I'm sad the movie had its problems. First of all, should never been the Birds of Prey.
Mhm.
If you were going to do Birds of Prey, it should have been the Gotham City Sirens versus the Birds of Prey, and not been Harley focused. Been, two, groups.
Wasn't that film like her like breaking off from Joker and
Yeah,
being
it
her?
just.
I gotcha.
But it should have been more just her
Yeah.
versus Black Mask.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have tried to bring in the Birds of Prey. I mean, yes, they did Sandra Kane horrible. Like they completely ruined
Yeah.
that character.
And my precious Renee Montoya.
Renee Montoya was mishandled. They tried to make her too much. They should have never made it rated R. That was a big issue, I say, with that. Like, it should have never been rated R. Because I feel like you don't take a character that you're selling Harley Quinn merchandise to, teenagers and kids and then give her a movie and make it rated R because you've just limited your audience, especially when you're trying to make money. Okay.
So I chose. So I had to look up like tons of clips. Like the Gotham one, I didn't like. I didn't like the mask.
My man Todd Stashwick.
It's just like there were parts of it that were okay, but
we're friends on LinkedIn.
I mean, great actor.
So my answer is really up in the air. But I guess I have to go with Batwoman, and the reason I go with Batwoman is because there were some torture scenes where he really stroked fear into women, and like what the heck he's going to do. And there were some gruesome scenes and stuff. And Black Mask is very much a torturer person. He loves it. He gets off on it, and he loves being the top dog and having that control. So I went with that.
I was torn, but what I went with Ewan because there's moments where he changes, where he goes from being like the scene in the Birds of Prey where he's like, "I'll let you live," and then the girl's nose running, and he's like, "Ooh, no, kill her!" Like he'll just flip like that. It's just eerie, like when they're in the club, and all of a sudden he like tells the girl to get on the table.
Just snaps into
and
it.
he just goes to this dark place like that. And it's creepy because he goes from this happy, fun place to just being this cold, dead. It's just
that's Ewan McGregor for you, man.
see, but like in the comics and in war games, like Black Mask is more in control. Like he's not like flipping on the switch and stuff. Like he's more.
But I mean,
put together in it, and like I don't know. Black Mask is more of a Catwoman villain to me, because Black Mask killed her sister, and I'm trying to remember who I killed, but the issues where Catwoman shoots him and he falls out of a window, and we don't know where Black Mask is. He's more of a Catwoman villain, and I don't know. I will watch that movie again. Birds of Prey. I will watch it eventually because I love Ewan McGregor, and when he was cast, I was really excited. But that movie was just so bad in so many reasons, and I think that's why I just can't say him.
My biggest question about that is, I wonder if that was Ewan McGregor at the end because I feel like when he put the mask on, it felt like that was all like reshoots, but they went and put it in because they didn't have him actually have the mask on, and I wonder about that. So, but Jania put Ewan and Solomon. I'm trying to read this. Put Ewan McGregor as well. Okay. Victor Zsasz. That man who likes to stick you as much as James likes sticking people too. James, go.
I mean, yeah, but
I just want to tell you guys this, for you guys that don't know. One day, James was like really feeling bad. He had some stuff going on. Bryan and I basically went online and found the best Chuck Norris facts, and just dropped out Chuck Norris's name and put James Cole, and just kept messaging him back and forth for hours.
Inspired.
Yes, it was. It ended up helping a lot.
But all right,
Victor Zsasz. I mean, Anthony Carrigan from Gotham. Like he was great in that show. Like, he gave that character personality.
All right. Dre. Yeah. It was the second or third episode of The Flash. He's the Mist. All right, Trey.
I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction here. Alex Morph from Batwoman. Again, I know the show is bad, but from what I've read and stuff like that, I mean, it seems like he was a memorable character from the show. So
I did like the characterization of Zsasz and Batwoman from what I can remember.
There'll be more on that later. Bryan.
To me, Victor Zsasz needs to make you uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. And for Gotham, he didn't make me uncomfortable. He was, he had a personality and he killed people with guns. He was a hitman. So I went with Alex Morph and Batwoman because once I looked up like who played Zsasz and I saw Alex's face, I was like, he was in Daredevil. and he was awesome in Daredevil.
If you just watched
And
that episode,
so I had to watch the scene where the dude's cheating on his wife and the bathroom stuff, and how he kills him, how he puts the bodies there, and then he pulls out the razor blade and puts the check mark. That's Victor Zsasz.
so Jania went with Gotham. Solomon went. Who'd you put for Victor's ass?
Gotham.
I went with Batwoman because I remember Jania and I were watching the show, and that became the show that we kind of kept on in the background, like if we were doing other stuff, like
it was just
laundry,
background noise,
just so I could get through it.
Scrabble.
Yep.
But I remember we were literally watching it one night, and it was that episode with Zaz, and he came on, and I literally stopped and watched it, and I was like, "That's good."
It's memorable.
I was like, that Zaz is creepy.
Heck yeah, man.
That one made me feel uncomfortable.
Yep.
And now I will say the Gotham one, I think he's good, but I will give him the break that it is early. He still has time to become Zaz as we know it.
Yeah.
But
Very creepy because he had only just started getting those cuts on him.
So all right, the next one,
You're not wrong.
Poison Ivy. That
Good
thing
God.
that James tries to avoid from getting on his crotch. James.
Yeah, it's horrible. when that
Dude.
happens, dude. You have no idea.
We're only human.
All right, Mr. Cole, Poison Ivy.
I mean, I debated this. I wanted to go with Peyton List. I mean,
Of course you did.
Smallville alum. Come on, she's a good character actress. But I actually went with the person who played her before her, Maggie Gea.
Maggie Gia, whatever.
Yeah, Gia.
So Gotham number 2. Gotham version 2.
Yes, Gotham version 2. Version 1 was really good too. I mean, I liked how she was very interested in the child, yeah, and she was very interested in plants. It was a interesting character, but the evolution of how she aged up because of the chemicals and whatnot. But yeah, the second version, I feel was a better character than was the best of all three.
All right.
And
all right.
I mean, Uma Thurman is just it was what the movie was. It was very comical.
All right, Dre.
What do you say?
Looks.
My man. My man. That's all that mattered.
I don't know. From your description, I'm just like, huh? Okay, we'll come back. All right, Trey, you go.
For me, I said Uma Thurman, and I know a lot of people might say, oh, it's just because of the name.
For reasons.
Reasons.
But
that
I mean,
will live on forever.
me as a kid when I watched that film, it's more of a comedy than anything. But I just thought, I mean, from what I understand of the character, I thought she did pretty well for the character, especially how she's trying to get Batman and Robin to fight over her. I mean, that's it's hard. It's hard for most villains in Batman's universe to get him and Robin to fight amongst each other.
She's gonna kill you, Dick.
Yeah.
All right, Brian.
For me, Poison Ivy needs to send blood down below. It needs to happen.
It's like a Chevelle song. Send the pain below.
And Uma Thurman could not do that. No,
You don't like the ape scene, man?
The only actress that I felt could do that and did do that was Maggie. Yeah. She was a redhead. She held herself very well. She flirted and messed with men. I don't think there's a definitive Poison Ivy yet. Maybe one day. But Maggie was the closest, I think, to how Ivy should be.
Do you think I could do it? I have red hair.
Yeah, you could.
I mean, the beard might throw it off, but...
All right, Solomon, who'd you have
No
for
blood's
Poison
flowing,
Ivy?
buddy.
Solomon had Uma. Jania had Uma. This one was tough because, like Bryan said, I don't think there is a definitive Poison Ivy.
Mm-hmm.
I went with the Pamela Isley version from Batwoman.
Okay.
I just feel like she was closer than what they gave us with Gotham and her character and her motives. They did do kind of that thing in Batwoman season 3 where they kind of like did newer spins on characters. So I went with the Pamela Isley version from Batwoman. All right, Dre, you're back, man. What you got? The other one. Yeah, she's like the Batwoman version, not the Pamela Isley, but the other. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Respect.
Okay, that Batwoman version, she
I was about to say,
there's a lot of reasons there.
You're looking at the redhead.
I'm still sticking with Maggie, but yeah, there's reasons.
What's those reasons?
I'll just add something.
There's a lot of reasons.
Enlighten me.
There's a lot of reasons. Even if
Solo 10 more years. You can talk about all the reasons you want.
10. Well, look, if we get 2 more years before he's like, let's talk.
Wait,
Yeah, but he's not going to figure things out for 10 more years.
I know what the right reasons are.
Are you a quick learner? All right, yeah.
Those are the conversations you can have with Uncle Bryan.
All right.
You can't talk to Uncle James about it because then there will be planning a baby shower.
I mean, the kid needs to know what he's doing.
Out of
All right, Mr. Freeze. We're going to freeze it up here and change it. Mr. Cole. Which Victor... Well, let me just say, which Mr. Freeze?
Which Mr. Freeze?
Yeah.
Well, we were talking about how comical it was, but I went with Arnold.
Of course you did. You know
Yes,
why? Because James likes to work out and pump the iron like Arnold. So
Pumping the iron, huh?
it makes sense.
All right, everyone, chill.
He likes all the ice
Chill.
puns.
I
hate
do.
when you talk to him.
I laugh every time, and I cringe.
I gotta admit, I like the robe, though.
Yeah, I want that
Sing.
robe. That's a nice robe.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
All right, Dre.
I hate when they talk during the movie.
What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age! I can probably recite that whole movie. All right, Trey.
Nathan Darrow from Gotham. I like Dre said, I like the look. It's very classic.
This is one I'm interested in
I
this
know.
answer.
I just.
You don't like it? No?
No.
Bryan.
I really love Mr. Freeze.
I know you do.
I really, really
that's
do.
why
One of
I'm
my favorites all the time.
That's why I should have saved you for last, just because I'm excited for this.
So like as a kid watching the '66 show, like I thought, oh my gosh, like this guy can freeze stuff. Like I
You
love
have 3
Iceman.
versions from
I
the
got 3
60s.
I was
versions.
gonna say,
I
which
love
so many
version?
choices.
Which one was
I
it?
love Iceman and stuff. I almost wanted to say Auto Premier because he was wild. But no, I went with Nathan Darrow. He was awesome. His version was really great. And like, even though I like a Mr. Freeze that has the helmet over, and we really haven't got that in live action. Nathan, his story with Nora, just his look, it was really awesome. And I hope we see Mr. Freeze again in the Batman 2.
Let's see, Jania went with Arnold. Solomon, what you got?
Arnold.
I went with Gotham. It was. I thought he was one of those really good versions.
Now, Bryan, for the next Batman, for Pattinson, would you want Nathan to be casted as Mr. Freeze, or?
Honestly, I would like Ralph Fiennes.
Who?
Ooh, Ray
As
Fiennes.
Mr. Freeze.
Ray Fiennes.
I probably butchered his last name, Ralph Fiennes. Mr.
It's Ray Fiennes. It's that English thing where letters.
Yeah,
are silent.
Thomas Dollarhide from
See,
Dragon.
I always thought
Mr. Voldemort.
I always had for Mr. Freeze would have been great was Mark Strong, because I think Mark Strong's an amazing actor.
Strongly.
And then somebody said I don't want to butcher his name, but the actor that plays Moff Gideon and was also the head guy of Voight in The Boys.
Yeah, he would do a good job. Gustav.
Yes. So I said I won't butcher his name. Okay, so here's a tough one, boys. Catwoman.
That was the most tough one for me.
There is only one wrong answer to this.
Oh, no.
The rest, I will.
Reasons, Bryan.
Anything else, I'll accept. But there is one wrong answer.
Can you tell us the wrong answer now?
Yeah, it's Halle Berry.
Okay, thank God.
Thank
God.
Oh, that's my
like
I'm in the clear.
Other than that, there's arguments for everything. Because I even have an argument for one you might not think of. Okay, James Cole, you're up.
I went with Zoe Kravitz. I really enjoyed the portrayal. I'm glad, at least for some reason, she was a cat burglar and she had ears, and she was pretty skilled at a lot of things, fighting and what she did, breaking and stealing.
Oh, Lord agrees with you. All right, Dre. All right, Trey.
I went with Michelle Pfeiffer. I just, I liked her character. I liked kind of like the downfall we see every, she's just a regular person. I mean, yeah, we don't get to see a whole lot of crime she's committing, but I mean, just the way the character develops and stuff like that, I did like that. So Michelle Pfeiffer for me.
Bryan.
This one was so tough.
Yes, it is. Because I have an answer written, I'm still not sure if that's what I wanted to be.
because I thought Michelle Pfeiffer, but Michelle Pfeiffer just she wasn't hot enough in both parts. Like, she was very sexy as Catwoman, but like she didn't.
Not a good look at Selena Kyle, huh?
Yeah, she wasn't good looking at Selena Kyle, and her civilian part wasn't Selena to me. And then I thought about Lee Merriweather, because Lee Merriweather really put Adam West really distracted him. The 66 Catwomans were very distracting to Batman, and they were thieves, and they were really good. But my wife actually chimed in on this. She said she thinks Eartha Kitt was the best Catwoman.
I did have that as an option.
At the end of the day, I went with who I thought could have been the definitive Catwoman if she had more screen time, and I went with Anne Hathaway.
Okay. All right. I can't really argue with you, because I much of the same debate that everything you just said, I agree with. Solomon.
I went Batman Returns.
He went with Michelle Pfeiffer. All right. Jania went with Gotham version 1. So she played more Selena into Catwoman.
I got you.
I highly considered her.
I
really, really did.
I will make a case, much like what you said about Anne Hathaway.
She looks like Selena should.
I thought the girl that they cast in the final episode of Gotham could have been an amazing Catwoman. I think she did really good, but because she only got the one episode.
Yeah.
The finale for Gotham is so weird because it's like a reverse pilot. It's a pilot for a show you never get, is what it is. And they age up everybody, and that, what I'm saying, and they bring in a new actress for Catwoman for that. And I cannot remember her name at the top of my head, but I thought she was great.
She was,
and she could
the one that did the laser scene. Yeah. I have Anne Hathaway, but at the same time, I'm going to go with Julie Newmar. Because, I respect that. Because look, James, you there, buddy?
Yeah,
Mr. Cole, you there? James and I are both big fans of Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, the greatest musical ever made. Okay? And all I'm saying is Julie Newmar in that movie, too. She definitely made a young Tyler perk up and notice.
Yeah, I might have to change it back to Julie.
So, she is very striking as Catwoman and has that allure.
Yeah.
And much like you said with Anne Hathaway, I think Anne did great, but she was so close. But I'm going to go with Newmar.
Was it Lily Simmons?
Yes.
Newmar,
Okay.
I'm going to change my
Cameron
answer.
was fantastic. Anne
Lily
was
Simmons,
fantastic.
Lily Simmons for
Michelle
Gotham
was fantastic.
Like I said, there's no wrong answer unless you said Halle Berry. That's what I'm saying. This is one of the big ones.
I'm changing my answer to Julie.
Okay.
Because Anne just didn't have enough screen time. So my answer is Julie.
Okay, now we're going to move on to Solomon's other favorite Batman villain, known as the Scarecrow. Mr. Cole.
Man, so I went with the only one that looked great, and that was in Gotham.
Okay.
And I did like a lot of the fear aspects they use. They've done some interesting portrayals, and of course Cillian Murphy is amazing as Crane, but he's hardly Scarecrow beyond his first appearance.
I just want to hear James's opinion on everything.
That's a new podcast we should launch.
Because
James
he's
Cole
right.
just gives his opinion. All right.
Absolutely.
Dre, Scarecrow. Oh, I thought you were going to say the one from Titans. Are you too afraid of Bryan's wrath to say the one from Titans and he's going to come after you? Yeah.
I knew it. That's right. That's right. Who strikes fear?
I like that actor's portrayal for a little while, and then
You fucking kidding me, boys?
it was, and then it just took a turn. It was like, like why'd you do that?
It started great and then it went downhill. Okay, Trey.
So I tried to avoid like looks. I mean, yeah, looks is a big part, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Cillian Murphy. He didn't get a whole lot of screen time, like I wish he would have. But I mean, like James said, yeah, we don't see him as much as Scarecrow, but he has a menacing. He brings a menacing feeling to the table. It's like it's unsettling. Like it's like, are you nice? Are you evil? You're creepy. I can't get a read on this guy.
Yep.
Especially in Batman Begins when he goes to visit Carmine. He's in there. It's like, hey, get me out of here. Help me out. Oh yeah, I can help you out. And then all of a sudden freaks him out, and just that whole scene. Yeah, it's good.
All right. Bryan.
Scarecrow is like my favorite. I love Scarecrow. I went with David W. Thompson, who was the guy that actually was Scarecrow in the suit. There was two guys that played Jonathan Crane
on the show, or
Scarecrow in Gotham.
Okay.
There was a kid that was from that Wayward Pine, you know who I'm talking about, the one that was Crane first.
Yep.
So the one that walks into the warden's office with the scythe and the whole suit was David W. Thompson, and I went with that kid.
Okay.
I thought his Scarecrow, not completely perfect, but pretty darn close. His voice was good. I think that's the best one.
Yeah, that's the one I gotta go with. I didn't know it was
Heck
separate.
yeah, James.
Bring it, Solomon.
Yeah, man.
I can't believe that this is so crazy. But alright, can I is this allowed?
You're the son of the podcast.
He's gonna hit it. He's gonna hit us with it.
You're the son of Patrick. You can do whatever.
Okay, I'm kind of with both. With Batman Returns and Gotham, when he walks in the warden's office. Gotham, the looks.
Mm-hmm.
But on Begins, the actor is good.
The way he acts and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I'm like, which one?
Solomon likes Scarecrow.
Yeah.
A lot.
But
Is he saying the games is the best?
He's
I was about to bring that up. I mean, is it fair to say we've all played the games, the
Yes.
Arkham series?
he's saying how much he loves.
That Arkham Knight Scarecrow, oh my, it's great.
Yeah, John Noble.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Solomon
So
says
good.
he loves the one that you picked. He also likes Cillian Murphy, so he's torn.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Still, I mean, my official answer is same as Solo's. I thought Cillian was an amazing Crane,
Mm-hmm.
but
Me and I
Scarecrow
both-
just didn't hit it even in 3 movies.
We didn't get a full suit, and we just get a mask. It was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But again, great actor.
But wait, I guess you maybe could count Cillian because in the fear scene in Batman Begins when he's on the horse,
It's
that's your Scarecrow,
Yeah.
buddy.
I
But
picked
it's-
Cillian Murphy
it doesn't-
because I mean, you gotta think that it's a Nolanized version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I love the scene where he comes in, like, just him, like, the same thing Trey said, he makes you uncomfortable because, like, you think he looks like a nice guy, but then you're not sure. And then how he, like, comes in, he's like, you want to see my mask? I use it in all my experiments. And then he gasses him, and then, and then later he puts on it. But then you gotta love in The Dark Knight where he's like, I told you my drug would take you places. I just didn't tell you it would be places you want to go.
Yep.
And he's, and then he's like, not by my diagnosis.
Yep.
Like, there's a different air about it. And I love it. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving right along.
The Riddler. James Cole.
Riddler?
Corey Michael Smith from Gotham.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was a really interesting character. The shy portrayal and the split personality. I like the suit that he got to wear. Got to wear the bowler hat and the green, a nice green suit, not just a suit with question marks all over it, and definitely not a leotard.
All right, Dre. All right, Trey.
Like James and Dre said, I mean, the way they brought that character to life, I wanted to go with him, but I didn't.
Which one did you choose?
Well, I'm getting there, but
okay.
I did like how they brought the character to life through Gotham. Seemed like to be a normal good guy, and then has a downfall and all that stuff. I went with Paul Dano from the Batman. I like the darker theme of the Riddler, and I like the inspiration. Like the whole Zodiac thing, that was heavily inspired for him. I did like it. And from, I read a little review that kind of, sold it for me was not only does he enjoy doing the riddles, again, darker theme for the Riddler, but he also enjoys the actions of murder, which, I thought it was a good take on the Riddler.
It works if you read a lot more of, since DC Rebirth, Riddler. He starts to fall a bit more into that darker
tone.
Bryan.
For me, the Riddler doesn't have a split personality.
There's only one wrong answer to this one.
So I couldn't go with Gotham. And I couldn't choose the Batman because he wasn't really the Riddler. He was the Zodiac Killer. So I chose Frank Gorshin.
I was
I
for
bet
sure
this will
you
not
were
be the
going
last time
with
that
John
Frank Gorshin
Astin.
comes up. John Astin is the wrong answer.
That's Jim. Okay.
But Gorshin had, the Riddler didn't really have much of a laugh in the comics, but he created this Riddler laugh. He was obsessed with the puzzles. Like, even in Batman the movie in 66, Joker's like, what the hell, man? Like, what are you doing? He's like, I have to do this. Like, he had the impulses, he had the narcissist, the insecurity, like, and everybody else has been kind of an imitation of Gorshin.
All right, Solomon, the Riddler.
Yeah, I'm going to give this point at you. I pick Returns. Jim Carrey.
You picked Jim Carrey.
Solid answer.
Jania went with Gotham, and I too went with Frank Gorshin. I think he comes out, him and Lee Merriweather are my favorite two villains that come from Batman 66. Mm-hmm. I like Gorshin's energy, and I just feel like Jim Carrey just played an updated Gorshin. Like, he didn't really play the Riddler, he played Frank Gorshin.
I was about to ask you, like, what's your thoughts on Jim Carrey? Because as a kid, I loved it, and then looking back, I'm kind of torn. But I've never seen Gorshin. But, I mean, if you're saying it's basically an updated version, it sounds pretty good. So,
yeah.
But
okay, so we're going to jump back. Carmine Falcone. So we're going to jump out of order real quick. We're going to do Carmine Falcone. James Cole.
I mean, I'm really torn on that because I really like the Batman version. He was pretty cold, and just the air around him, and I love the actor's portrayal. But we got to see so much more of him running things in Gotham in the show.
Okay.
So
you're going Gotham.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Gotham.
All right, Dre. Yep.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Sophia. All right, Trey.
I went with the Batman as well. But James brings up a good point. Compared to the Gotham show, yeah, you don't see him get to run a whole lot or control a whole lot of things. You do get a brief snippet in the Batman, I feel, a little bit. But James does bring a good point. But yeah, for me, it's going to be the Batman.
All right, Bryan.
I went with the Batman. I really did like Carmine in Gotham. I really, really did. But in the Batman, Carmine was more Italian, and
Sure.
I knew that Catwoman is Carmine's daughter from the side comic
When in Rome.
When in Rome. I knew that, and I thought they portrayed that very well. And that relationship there, and his cockiness to Bruce and Batman. Yeah, I liked it.
Solomon, Carmine.
I picked the Batman.
Solomon, all on his own, picked the Batman. Jania picked the Batman. I picked Batman Begins because I think he's just an arrogant prick in Batman Begins.
Yeah.
He thinks he's and he gets knocked down a peg like he thinks he's
especially when he gets gassed.
Yeah, exactly. When he's like, not in my town. Not that's power. That's power you can't buy.
Pulling the gun at the table with the judge in there and all that. Yeah.
And I love the character in the Batman, but I have a really hard time of just seeing John Turturro as that character because I just really think of him as Pete from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Really hard. So it just makes it really hard for me to see him all serious. But all right, the next one, I think it's pronounced Mr. Is it Ra's al Ghul? Ra's al Ghul is dead. So, Mr. Cole, give us the Al Ghul. Who?
I think, I just had to go with Alex Siddig from Gotham. Gotham did a lot of things, or a lot of villains pretty well. They gave him a history, and he's been around for a long time. He actually resurrected. So.
Okay, Dre.
No.
And Trey.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. I mean, come on now.
Like I said, if you're going to whitewash with a character, Liam Neeson, okay. Bryan.
So I think that when Batman Begins came out, Finch and I were talking in high school, and I was like, okay, Liam Neeson is supposed to play Henry Ducard, and we looked at each other and we looked at how he looked in the movie, and we're like, okay, Leeson's Ra's al Ghul. I mean, come on. My choice is Neeson, because if you're gonna whitewash, you want him to look as close as you can. Neeson did great, but how Neeson trained him and how Neeson, showed him we have to destroy Gotham. These people are just corrupt. He portrayed. I love Ra's al Ghul. He portrayed how the mission is that we're just going to kill all these people, let Gotham rebuild, and how he played with what Bruce's mission was for Gotham to be able to be that symbol and kind of save it. They did that really well. I think of Ra's al Ghul as almost like the Dracula of DC Comics. How he just keeps coming back. He's immortal. That's the way I think it. And Neeson is the closest I think that we got to the way he should be. The end.
Okay. Salman, Ra's al Ghul. Who'd you pick?
Batman Begins.
Yep.
It was a lot good.
Jania chose Liam Neeson. I chose Ken Watanabe. No, I went
you
with,
slick SOB.
nah, I went with Liam Neeson. But I love Ken Watanabe. I think he's a great actor.
I really wanted that to happen.
I really wanted when they announced
Let them fight.
when they announced they were going to bring Ra's al Ghul to Arrow. I remember a lot of people wanted Odette Fair to be Ra's al Ghul, and I thought that would have been amazing. And he would have been an amazing Ra's al Ghul, and probably the closest to a definitive Ra's al Ghul we've had. But they didn't do that. They picked the whitest white dude on Arrow. So what the heck? Okay, now we got 4 more to go, listeners. It's crunch time. Harley Quinn. James Cole.
I mean, I really liked how like Mira Sorvino like ran things behind the scenes, but I had to go with Margot Robbie.
All right. Dre. Trey.
You know, I want to say Lady Gaga, but I can't because the film isn't out yet. And honestly, I don't know if she'll be good. I have hopes for her because, I mean, with Joaquin Phoenix, the first movie, it was pretty good. I mean, it was great. So I have hopes for her. I could think of 2 actresses that I'd recast for her. But I'd go Margot Robbie. But
Bryan.
I hate the character Harley Quinn.
what?
I
Why?
hate her.
All right.
But there's only one person that's made me actually start to somewhat like her, and that is Margot Robbie. Margot Robbie looks how Harley should. She acts like Harley should. And Margot just, yeah, she does great.
Solomon, what you got for Harley Quinn?
Margot Robbie.
Solomon's got Margot. Jania has Margot. I chose, I went with the Tara Strong, the deleted scene from Arrow.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I went with Margot Robbie. Especially, I really liked her in The Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I feel like what we got in Suicide Squad was good. The extended cut was better because it gave us more with her. But I really liked her in The Suicide Squad. Who's Milton? Milton's still with us?
That is my favorite Margot.
I know.
Do you have high hopes for Lady Gaga? Do you think she can?
Yeah.
My thing is more about the balance of tone of that movie because, like I said about the first movie, Joker, it was like, hey, we wrote this really great movie about mental illness, but there's no way we're going to have a large audience. Just set it in Gotham and call it Joker, and people will eat it up.
Yeah,
that's what they did.
Yeah.
So,
Yep. But that's going to be a full blown musical.
I don't think it's going to be a full blown musical. But my thing is, if you're dealing with people in delusions, the idea of singing and dancing in a delusion makes sense. So having these musical outbursts will make sense in the idea of you're dealing with people who have lost their sense of reality. I almost wanted to put Christina Ricci for the audio drama, but since this is live action, I just want to say shout out to Christina Ricci, who I don't get to meet again for the 2nd year as she's canceled in Cincinnati.
One day we will meet her. One day.
See, now I'll say this real quick. For the recast for the upcoming movie, if they were to recast her, the reason I say this first one is because my wife made me watch the movie, Cruella. Emma Stone.
She was good in Cruella.
She was really good in it. I think she could do a pretty good Harley Quinn.
Emma Stone would do it great.
That's what I thought.
The way I would want Harley Quinn to be.
And then the second one would be Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she could.
I could see that.
Yeah, so.
That's actually interesting.
Like those ideas, huh?
This man's a young director in the works.
I think she would be a good Poison Ivy.
I can see that.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
I'm telling you, man.
Did you say Emma would be a great Poison Ivy?
Yeah, on Taylor.
My man. Heck yeah. You're
all right.
She also cast She also cast Prince of Peach in my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Is Todd Phillips directing the second Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I have faith.
That's what I'm saying. Like Todd Phillips, the guy who brought us such great, wonderful classics as Old School.
When you take the early flight.
Sometimes you take the early flight home, and that's my best man toast. All right. We got 3 more.
All right, let's do it.
Penguin. Mr. Cole. Let's bring it home. Did we lose James?
No. So for Penguin, my 2 favorite interpretations would have to be Batman 66 with Burgess Meredith, but
Hell
nice.
yeah, buddy.
Robin Lord Taylor for Gotham.
Both are amazing. I mean, I'm not arguing either way. All right, Dre. Yeah.
He's getting a show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Trey.
I'm going with the twist here. I really like Tim Burton's version. Danny DeVito. At that time, Danny DeVito was more known for comedy and family films, which still this can be considered a family film. But I like the grotesque nature of Penguin. The hands, and then at the campaign meeting, he bites that dude's nose off. Like I don't know. I just like his Penguin.
All right, Bryan.
I absolutely love the Penguin.
Nate.
So many good interpretations. My answer is pretty much just like James. I really love Burgess Meredith as a Penguin is the highlight of all Batman 66 villains, in my opinion, with Frank close second. Like that laugh and just
Does he have the monocle?
oh, he's so great.
Oh, he does. Yeah, I'm
but
sorry.
I chose Robin Lord Taylor because Robin Lloyd Taylor gets the insecurity perfect. The relationship with the mom, the dependency of other people. He knocked it out of the park, and he gets the waddle right. I like how the waddle is like his foot's messed up. It's just Robin was just it was so good. Best part of the show.
And just some flat out like scary murder stuff with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I loved how in season 1 of Gotham, you're just watching him work for Maroni and you're watching him play both sides.
Yeah, being
and
so duplicitous.
And you have you don't see his plan right away. Like you just think things are just happening because of circumstance. But this dude is manipulating things left and right and you never see it coming. And that is Penguin for me, man. Like he's so good.
All right, Solomon.
Gotham.
Jania put Gotham. I was kind of split because I really like Colin Farrell as Oz and that rise in Penguin. One of my favorite lines in that whole movie is, it's not even like supposed to be that funny, but to me it's like, is that the mayor? Oh shit, it is! Like when he's looking at the picture, like it just to me was like felt like just that thug douchey but Robin Lord Taylor's Penguin, because he gets that full arc and you see him go as Oswald into being like embracing that Penguin.
That's the beauty of a show.
It can be.
Yeah.
Some shows I feel like they slow down the pace too much. And then of course like he is kind of robust. They try to make him in the finale and everything, but I think he got the character. All right, guys, 2 more to go. Yes. Paul Rubens.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and what's funny is I believe him more as the Penguin's dad in Gotham than I do in Batman Returns. All right. James Cole's favorite Batman villain. They actually modeled, did you know this? They modeled this character after James.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Sure as hell did.
James, bring us home with the Bane.
Oh man. All right. Well, I picked Tom Hardy's Bane because because of there was a physicality definitely to the role and the character, but
They could say
also
more
the
than one word.
brains, the smart, his articulation, of being able to talk and manipulate people and events. So for the first 2/3 of that movie, yeah.
All right, Dre.
There is a wrong answer to this one.
No, there is a wrong answer, but it's not that one. Trey.
I'm with Tom Hardy as well. I mean, his just the portrayal of it. I mean, he can play a good villain. I mean, just movies he's played in before and stuff like that. He's flawless with every character he handles. I think he got out of the ballpark with Bane.
Bryan.
I picked the Bane that was born in darkness, molded by it, that they laid on a table and injected him with chemicals. I picked Jeep Swenson from Batman and Robin.
Nice.
Because it would piss off Dave, and that's what I'm about. And
I actually considered
it. Me off.
Solomon, who did you pick?
But he looked great.
Throw it out there.
Batman and Robin.
Solomon picked Batman and Robin.
My man.
Jania picked The Dark Knight, Tom Hardy. Or Dark Knight Rises, Tom Hardy. I picked Tom Hardy. The only answer that would be wrong would be Shane West. So can we really talk about that being whitewashing?
If you pick, is that the Gotham one?
Yes.
If you pick Gotham's Bane, you are one dumb mofo.
Okay, Gotham's Bane is up there with picking Halle Berry as Catwoman.
Ooh, that bad, huh?
Bad. Bad.
All right, we are at the final one.
I mean, perhaps absolutely the worst thing they did on Gotham was Bane.
So here we go.
Oh, so bad.
Here, the last one, the Joker. This is probably one of those hot topic debatables we're going to get into, and this is the greatest debate. Probably. This is where friendships are made and friendships are divided, people. James Cole.
Let me start with the hot take then, because I'm going to cheat and I'm going to go with Cameron Monaghan in Gotham.
Okay.
I'm not picking one. I'm saying Cameron Monaghan.
I don't think Dre liked that.
All right. Dre.
Yeah.
81.
Yep.
Heath Ledger. One post-mortem, yeah. All right, Trey.
I went with Heath Ledger as well. I mean, there's really not much explanation needed in my opinion. I mean...
No, none at all.
You want to know how I got these scars?
Just the way he approached the character, isolating himself in a hotel room for months and getting into character. That's unbelievable. It's unfortunate what happened that, he couldn't finish the film all the way through because there was supposed to be one final scene, wasn't there? Before
he was supposed to be in the third movie.
Yeah. But I mean, the dedication and all that stuff, it was perfect. Now, I will say, if we never had a Heath Ledger Joker, I would say Joaquin Phoenix. Now, come on now. It's not terrible.
He doesn't count.
Yeah. Why doesn't he count?
Doesn't count.
Why doesn't he count?
He doesn't count.
Because he has a name?
No, because he's not the
would
Joker.
Would it make you feel better if I said Jack Nicholson?
You say what you want to say.
No.
But
it'd be
you can say Joaquin. He won a freaking Oscar. He won Best Actor.
Well, I mean, he's not bad. Like I said, if we didn't have a Heath Ledger Joker...
I'm just giving crap. He was amazing.
I think when we watch Joker this coming year, we're going to do a commentary on it. I'm going to bring you back.
Oh, yeah?
Just because I think it'd be fun to do, because there's a lot in that movie to dissect that you don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be fun to break down.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to rewatching that. It's been a while since I've watched that movie.
That movie, yeah, it's so good. I picked Cameron Monaghan. When they said that they weren't going to do the Joker in Gotham, and then they showed that kid. And I'm like, okay. But what's like, I wasn't sold on that kid during that whole episode of his first introduction. But when he's doing that interview, and that dude's like, "Yeah, I'm your dad" and stuff, and then like he's like crying, and he looks down the table.
Are you talking about the
And then
interrogation?
he comes back up, and his face changes, and he just starts laughing uncontrollably. I'm like, oh my gosh, this kid! And then in season 2, when he's dropping bodies off that roof and he's trying to spell stuff, that's Joker, bro. Like, that kid knocked it out of the park so good, because before then, Jack Nicholson was my Joker, like, just through and through. But Cameron was able to play not one, not two, but 3 separate freaking Jokers, and he killed it each one. That kid is Joker. That's just my man. Thank you.
I want Batman and Nicholson.
You want Jack Nicholson?
Okay.
Awesome.
Excellent choice.
Janias. Don't hate my wife. Jared Leto from Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Really? Now, we got to hear the reasoning.
Yeah,
Did she give you a reason?
She loves Leto. She hates that all of his stuff got cut.
Oh, the more
like,
scenes.
Yeah, and everything. But she thinks he just has an eeriness and an interest into it, and she loved Ledger.
Yeah.
Okay, but she really liked what Leto was doing,
So
and
what specific movie did she choose?
She put Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Okay, that's the only
tolerable
answer that Brian Pierce will accept.
I like the clown. I like the clown Prince of Crime in Suicide Squad. I mean,
I like the scene where he
I like
interrogates
the clothing, the jewelry, the nice things that he likes. I like the Prince angle they gave him there, but
I like the scene in Suicide Squad where he interrogates the guy in the meat.
Yeah.
He's like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah,
Yeah.
And then ooh, and he sits on his lap, and makes him feel all uncomfortable.
Yes,
that's
absolutely.
what shows you
yes.
he could do well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just cut his scenes and gave him nothing.
Yeah, but in Zack Snyder's Justice
Bad
League,
directing.
like when he's talking with Bruce, and like the different, you can just see it in his face, in his mannerisms, in his eyes. Like when he switches, you know, like when he switches and he's about to lose it, and then when he stops and it switches back and he doesn't. It is so good.
He says this comment says, "Who else would give you a reach around?" You know, all right. Leto could have done. He could have done great, but
I thought he was
that
good
damage on the forehead.
Yeah, release the haircut. All right.
Oh, absolutely.
My answer. I have not really much more to say, but my answer is Cameron from Gotham. Everything Brian said.
Oh yeah.
Like he got screwed by just because they wouldn't let them say Joker.
Yeah.
Until like the last episode on the 3rd version, and that one was like the weirdest. But the way he went from being the Jeremiah Valeska to where he did the face thing. They made it all creepy, and they brought him back. And then he had the twin brother, so then he played a whole different clean cut angle of the character.
Yeah, actually more like
acid.
More like the classic, like the old Joker in the 3 Jokers, where he's like laughing is painful kind of character.
He
gave every single type
serious
of Joker that you could have won.
Yeah.
He hit every single one of them. You like Ledger more, you get it. You like more Nicholson. He puts on the old gangster suit. He gives you anything you could want from the Joker.
Hanging in there, Solomon.
So we're gonna wrap it up here. We've been on here an hour and 40-some minutes, guys. Happy Batman Day for all of our listeners. Also, the day after Batman Day it's the second greatest day ever, second only to the birth of Jesus. That's the birth of Brian Peters.
Yes, sir.
So happy birthday, Brian Peters.
Happy birthday, Brian.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm glad you did.
Thanks for hanging out with us, Solomon. You all right, buddy?
Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. Dre, you're welcome. All the way out in Woodsboro. Stay clean, buddy. Don't get killed. James?
Yeah, good talking to everybody.
Got some crime to fight, buddy. All right. And remember, everybody,
What's up, everybody? Chase Smith here from the Chase Smith Podcast and Cavs on the Break NBA Podcast.
And I'm JD, host of the Hyman Podcast, part of the Press Play Podcast Network, and we are super excited to bring you a brand new show starting next Tuesday, the Fanfare Podcast.
The Fanfare Podcast is all about your favorite movies and our favorite movies and the best moments in cinema. To help guide our discussion, each episode will feature one classic, and we will grade this movie using a report card-like scale A through F. We're going to be grading categories like acting, directing, cinematography, the score, and even the movie poster itself.
And when we're not featuring a movie report card, we'll be sharing our movie rankings, franchise deep dives, actor and director interviews, and everything in between. Movies have been a major part of our lives, and we cannot wait to share our thoughts with you.
Our premiere episode will drop Tuesday, June 27th, and JD and I will be reviewing Raiders of the Lost Ark in preparation of the release of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny on June 30th, the 5th installment of the franchise.
Join us on the Fanfare Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month, and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us, and then listen in.
Here at Krypton Report, we believe in the power of podcasting, the power of speaking your voice and speaking something that comes from you. So here's a couple of podcasts you can check out with people sharing their voice.
I am Bryan Peters, the creator and host of Gravely Amusing. For the past 30 years, I've studied the history of gods and monsters in pop culture and our world. As a student of theology and history, I've tried to understand evil and its impact on us. As a writer, I've tried to share this knowledge. As a comedian, I've tried to make people laugh as I do it. But as a man-child, I'm still that scared 7-year-old boy. Join me as I share the history of horror and sci-fi, discuss classic and modern pop culture, and share a creepy story or two. This podcast may scare you, it may horrify you, or it may leave you gravely amused. Listen to Gravely Amusing on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and wherever podcasts are found. Follow us on Twitter at Gravely_Amusing or on TikTok at Gravely Amusing.
Hi, I'm Taria Maynard, and this is my co-host, Jania Patrick. We're a couple of sisters in Central Ohio who created a podcast. Our podcast is called The Confessing Heretics.
The basic premise of the podcast right now, as we see it, is we're going to talk to you guys about our stories in religion, would you say?
This podcast is about sharing our truths, our religious traumas, and our histories. We'd love for you to join us on our journeys as we talk about our pasts and discover more about ourselves along the way. We will be featured on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just look for The Confessing Heretics.
We have a $1 Patreon. Yes, I know everyone asks for money, but our $1 Patreon each month gets you commentary tracks for releasing movies, DC movies. It gets you my requel series where I pitch ideas about movie sequels, prequels, or whatever. It also gets special bonus episodes of whatever else some of the friends of the network chime in and drop. So check that out for $1 a month. That's all we ask. Keep it cheap, keep it simple, and help us keep going. Check out the link in the show notes or Patreon, Krypton Report.
Follow the link in the link tree or in the show notes below, patreon.com/Krypton Report.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
Look up in the sky.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, The Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope.
Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/KryptonReport. You find all of our